All right, what's up guys? In this video, I'm gonna show you how to drive a modern stick shift. So for this video, I've got my brand new 2020 Jeep Gladiator with a manual transmission. So let's hop in the cab and let's see how to actually drive a manual transmission in the year 2020. Let's do it. All right guys, so let's start from square one, as if you were getting into the truck by yourself. So you're climbing into the truck, got that good old Jeep logo, close the door, and what do we do now? Well, that is the question, isn't it? So down here at your feet, you've got the three magical pedals: clutch, brake, gas. So what you're gonna do to actually start this truck is to push on the brake and the clutch pedal. Now, the clutch pedal goes all the way to the floor. The brake pedal is just like a normal brake pedal. Now, on modern trucks, it's going to say clutch plus button equals go, essentially. So basically, the truck's not going to start if you don't have your foot on the clutch and your foot on the brake. And that's that. That's a little bit different from old trucks. So old trucks would basically just start up no matter what. If you want to know how to drive an older stick shift, I'm going to include the link up there somewhere and in the description below. But this is for modern stick shifts. So after you've pushed in the clutch and the brake, what you're going to do is you're going to put your truck in neutral. So this right here is your shift lever, and it's got this nice little diagram on here. All right, so there's a little bit of a difference here. So on this, when you pull up the call, you go all the way over and up. That's going to be reverse, not to be confused with first gear, which is just over and up. So make sure you don't pull this collar up and go up, because that's going to be your reverse gear and you're going to get in trouble if you do that on the road. So push it over and up, that's going to be your first gear. Pull it down, second gear, over and then up again. So to distinguish that, so you're in second gear, so over straight up is first gear, slightly over and then up is third gear, straight down is fourth gear, up, push it over and up, that's fifth gear, and then push it all the way over and then down, that is sixth gear. Those are going to be your gears on a standard modern vehicle. Now, older trucks had fewer gears, but you want to check out older trucks, check that link somewhere up there. Otherwise, this is what we got. So that is going to be your shifter. So what you're going to do to start the trucks, make sure that's in neutral. Then you look down here at your parking brake and you actually release that. Now, don't release this unless you have your foot on the brake and your foot on the clutch. That's very important, because you release this and you're on a hill. Look at this. So I'm in neutral and the truck is off. But if I release this, look, I am rolling now. So I do not want to be doing that if I don't have my foot on the brake, because you'll just roll into somebody else. So once you've got your foot on the clutch and the brake down there, you've got the parking brake released, and you got the truck in neutral. Now you're going to fire it up. So this little button here says clutch plus button. So guess what? I got my foot on the clutch, got my foot on brake, and now I'm going to press the magical button. All right. So my truck fires up. She's all fancy and brand new. Turn that off. All right. So this truck gets terrible gas mileage, as this will show here, but don't worry about that. All right, so now what do you got? Well, your truck is fired up. Your engine is running. This right here is going to be your tachometer, and that right there is your speedometer, but I'm not going to go into all that because I'm assuming you already know all that. I'm also not going to worry about telling you about four-wheel drive, lockers, sway bar disconnect, off-road, any of that stuff. We're just talking about basic stick shift operation. All right, so now that your truck running and your foot is on the clutch and the brake pedal, now what you're going to do is you're actually going to put the truck into first gear. So again, I showed you the gears, that's over and then up. So now my truck, the transmission is in first gear, but I haven't actually engaged anything because the clutch is still pushed in. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky to show you guys. All right, guys, so I've put a light down here on my feet to help you guys see what it looks like when you actually shift into gear. So I've got my truck in gear. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in first gear. So what that means is that's releasing the brake pedal and then hitting the gas while also releasing the clutch. So now I'm driving forward, I'm in first gear. It's that simple. And then to simply put it back in neutral, you do what I just did, which is move your foot back to the brake pedal, and then your other foot goes on the clutch and pushes it all the way down. So I am driving in gear right now. You can see I got it into gear. To put it back in neutral, I'm putting it in neutral, put it back in gear, I'm back in gear. So again, this all comes down to practice, but I'm just gonna show you a couple times here how this works. So I've got my foot on the gas, neutral. Now, if I wanna change gears, all right, so I'm just gonna back up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach over here to my brake, I'm gonna put it in neutral, then pull the collar up, and then over. So now my truck is in reverse. You'll know that because modern trucks are gonna have a backup camera, all that good stuff. So now let's look down here at my feet. So what do? Same thing in reverse as in drive, so I'm gonna drive backwards. Now I'm using the camera to back up. But you can see that when I don't actually need the truck in gear anymore, my feet always go back to the same position, which is the position that they're in right now. So that's 1 foot on the brake, 1 foot on the clutch. Now, I've backed up where I need to go, so I'm gonna reach up here. I'm gonna grab my lever, put it back in neutral, put it in first, and then I'm gonna look down here at my feet, and you can see here down at my feet to drive forward. I release the brake, push on the gas, release the clutch, and my truck is rolling forward. It's really that simple, but it's also not simple. So what does this mean? What do I mean by that? Well, when I say it's simple but not simple, basically this is all about practice. All right, guys, so now that I've showed you what it looks like from down at my feet at the pedals, let's actually see what it looks like from kind of what I'm going to be seeing. Now, this is a camera view, so the image is going to be reversed. It's going to be a mirror image, so this is not a left-hand stick shift and all that stuff, though it looks like it. So what I'm going to do, well, I'm going to put my foot in on the clutch, my other foot's on the brake, make sure the truck's in neutral, and I'm going to start the truck up. Now what I've got them release the parking brake, got my fat cup of coffee here because life is good. So what I'm going to do is simply put it over and up, and I'm in first gear. Now what I'm going to do, I usually keep my hand on the gear shift, but I'm gonna release it, and guess what? I'm driving. Now I put it back in neutral. I'm gonna put it back in neutral. What I'm doing, I'm going downhill now, so I'm just letting the truck coast. I'm letting it coast. I'm not even using the gas, not using anything but the brake. So now I've come to a stop here, but now I gotta get going, so I'm put it in drive. Oop, camera's falling over. There we go. And we're going. All right, let me see if I can get this camera to not fall over for 2 seconds. All right, so now I'm going forward again. I'm trying not to have the cameras tip over, which is actually really challenging. And then to put it in second, I simply pull it down, and guess what? I'm in second gear. Now, I'm not gonna go much faster because if I do, I'm guaranteed my camera will tip over. So what I'm gonna do is put it in reverse, and I'm gonna back up and go back the way I came. It's really that simple. So driving stick shift is not hard once you actually get the hang of it. By get the hang of it, I mean you actually learn the friction point of the clutch and the brake, because that's where it really comes down to. You saw in the early part of the video where my feet are, doing that mixture. Well, I've been driving stick shift for years and years, so this just comes naturally to me, knowing the feeling for the different friction points of different transmissions. But when you get your stick shift, you're gonna kill that thing a good, 20 or 30 times before you really get the feeling of it. But that's all there really is to it. It's a lot of messing around with the stick and figuring out the friction point of your vehicle, and that goes for a new stick shift, an old stick shift, or any stick shift you may have. All right, final note. So manual transmission is very important that when you park the truck, you do it correctly. So what I've done now is I've come to a complete stop. My truck is in neutral. My feet are on the clutch and the brake. Now, before I shut the truck down or do anything, what I'm gonna do is I'm first gonna put the truck into first gear. Now, my foot is still on the clutch. I'm not releasing anything, but I'm putting it in first gear. Then what I'm doing is I'm pulling up on the parking brake. Now, without releasing the clutch or the brake, very important, because if you release the clutch now, the truck's gonna lunge forward and die. That's not good for it. What you're gonna do is you're actually gonna turn the truck off. So I'm gonna push the button, and my truck shuts down. Now, I need to make sure that the truck is all the way shut down, not that the engine's still kind of lowering down, and then I'm free to release the clutch and the brake. Now, it's very important that you, first of all, let the truck come to a complete dead stop, and that the truck's completely off when you release the clutch, or it'll lunge forward. It's also very important that you put the truck in both first gear and the parking brake on. So here's why you need to put both the parking brake and the transmission in gear, because I've had multiple times where I've put the parking brake on and the brake fails. So this brake is only connected to the brake pads by a cable, and that cable can break or stretch, and if that happens, your truck just rolls away. So that's why it's very important to make sure your truck is in gear, your parking brake is on, then you're free to shut the truck down no matter the hill or whatever. All right, guys, well, there you go. That was a real quick overview on how to drive a modern manual transmission vehicle. Hey, if you need more, if you want more, let me know in the comments below. I can do a more detailed video. Other than that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, check out my Instagram and my channel and all that other good stuff. I'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned.